Hi guys, what's up? It's extremely hot outside, so if I randomly start sweating, then that's the reason why. Um, just, just a heads up. And if it just turn up with like no shirt on, then that's the reason why. So don't be like scared or anything. I've mentally prepared you for this, the possibilities of the next few minutes of this video. Anyway, on to the main business. Well, actually, one small thing. I do have a new microphone. It's a blue snowball microphone, I think. Yeah, blue snowball. I got the package still on the ground. So, blue snowball microphone with a pop filter, and the setup is pretty weird. It's not how I'm gonna keep it, but it has to do for now. And yeah, now we're going on to the week 11 GPC match versus Pierre, R.I.Pierre. And Pierre's team consists of these guys: Mega Altaria, just pronouncing it right for Pierre. Mega Altaria is of course a humongous threat. It's the one I want to pick up at the start of the season. Don't know if I want to keep it, at least for the next season. If I want to take it, I might. If it's free, then hey, there's a good chance. Mega Gyarados served me well this season, so who knows, maybe a big Gyarados. Anyway, Mega Altaria is his first pick, and it's incredibly scary. I think in every single one of his matches, he's used it 10 times. In every single one, it has been a Dragon Dance, boost, 2 attacks, Mega Altaria. So I do kind of expect it to be one as well, but I did prepare for the multiple sets he could have brought, if he could bring at least. Next is Doublade. Doublade, of course, the fantastic typing. But it's manageable by my team, I think, so I don't think it's gonna bring it. But it does have fantastic typing, it's a good spin blocker, it's a good setup, and yeah, it's bulky on the physical side, of course. Tornadus T, he usually runs Assault Vest, just a standard Tornadus T. Pretty good mon, to be honest, you cannot say it's not so. Regenerator, Assault Vest, or Life Orb even, maybe. It has the coverage out of its ass. Physical special can do anything, so it's definitely a threat to consider. Tyranitar is pretty good still in the league form, even despite its huge weakness to fighting. It's still pretty good as a mon. It has a lot of bulk on the special side. It can be a Pursuit Trapper, Scarf, Dragon Dance, just a bulky defensive one, but I don't know, T-Wave or something. So it's definitely a mon to prepare for. He might bring it. I do think actually he's gonna bring it. So. Next up, Feraligatr. He picked this up in his last transfer period. I didn't pick up anything in that period, but he picked it up over Swampert. And although Swampert is a good non-first defensive squad fortress, Mega Feraligatr puts in a lot more offensive pressure on like my team in this case, of course, but on opponent's team. Together with Mega Altaria and Feraligatr, and even stuff like Ember, Sombra, Frisian, and Stoutland, it's a huge offensive presence altogether. Even Malawara can do as well. So. But next up is Fortress. Fortress, the of course spinner and hazard stacker mainly. This is a huge weakness to fire, and knowing Pierre, at least known from his previous matches, all his matches, he has never run like an Akaberry Fortress, which I find pretty weird. Not saying it's like bad on his part, of course, because he did pretty well in the season. But I figured that an Akaberry would possibly like help him out a little bit more in very different situations that have happened already. So. But next up is Malawetta, and Malawetta is a humongous threat to my team. It really is. In RU, in UU, and OU, I've always had problems with Malawetta, and even in this format, I'm for sure gonna have problems with Malawetta. It's of course very bulky on the special side. But it can be so many different things. It can be Assault Vest, which is a great set. It can be Substitute Calm Mind, which is a fantastic set. Scarfed, Specs, it can even be the Pirouette form. So it's a fantastic one. It's really difficult to prepare for it, and it's gonna hopefully not destroy my team, but it's definitely gonna take a few kills if he decides to bring it. So next is Spiritomb. Spiritomb is of course pretty good, especially since I do not have a Fairy type on my team. This might be brought to the match. It's of course a great spin blocker as well. He's got 2 spin blockers. Like the rest of the whole tier almost has no spin blockers. I do have one in this blend. So yeah, as you can see, like no spin blockers anywhere. So, but oh well, this one I guess. But Spiritomb is a good spin blocker. It's pretty annoying to deal with, but manageable, I guess. Subspace but is annoying. If it's a calm mindset, it's annoying, but hey, we'll have to find out in the battle what's itself of the kind of set he's running on it. Hopefully it's not gonna be Will-Wisp, but that's more likely gonna be Will-Wisp. So, next up is Emboar. Emboar is pretty scary. It really is. He likes to run its card, and for good reason, because card Emboar is pretty good, especially with the coverage it gets. It can mess up so many teams. Superpower, Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, Head Smash. I think those like the main moves he's running, but like those moves, all of them hit up almost anything. Almost any core gets broken by the combination of these moves, and especially because of its great strength, with of course its new abilities. So. And next up is Samurott. Samurott is actually pretty scary. It can be physical, with like Sword Stance, Mega Hard, Mortal Actiat, and our Superpower, I guess. It does get Superpower, I think it does, but depending on my team, of course, decide what he wants to bring. And not only Samurott is his physical set is scary, also his special set is pretty, well, horrifying to face. Let's say it like that. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid mon, and yeah, it also got like a new ability which it can make use of, but it's more likely gonna be still Torrent. So, and next up is Virizion. Virizion is the grass fighting type. It's the one of the few Earthquake immunities. Another immunity is Earthquake resists, together with Branson, for example. But Virizion is of course pretty scary as well. It has a great speed here. It's a good grass type. It gets the Sword Stance, it's called Mind, so it's pretty versatile. You can get Dawn Synthesis, like anti-stall set. So it is most definitely a threat to consider. And last but not least, it's Stoutland, and Stoutland is great in combination with Tyranitar, of course, having the Center's ability. It's not too powerful, but with the Choice Band, of course. Sorry if you could hear that, that's my phone. But of course with Choice Band or Life Rock, it hits anything up to the damage. Onto the things I think he's gonna bring, the things I prepared for. I think he's gonna bring Mega Altaria, and the main reason I mean it's of course just good against my team, but I think the main reason you'll see right here. Mega Altaria is still in the running for the top mon in the GPC. Mega Lopunny, I can show you this as well. All these guys have played their games, except for the VCU Reshirams, of course, my opponent, me, Swansea City, and the Greenville Growlithe. So you can see that at this current point in time, Lars is the number one with 3 differential more than I have. He faced the Liverpool FC in this week 11 match, and unfortunately Richie wasn't as motivated to put in the work against Richie as against Lars as he was doing versus me. So he lost 5-0, which it's kind of annoying, because now that means that I do have a really hard time against Pierre, because Pierre of course has a really good team. So against Pierre I need to win 3-0 to get shared first, or 4-0 to get first on my own, which is not an easy task at all. As you can see, the FC Eaton and the Texas Saboteurs are both set to be in the playoffs. So unfortunately for VCU Reshirams, for Pierre, he's not able to reach the playoffs. Even if he wins against my team. So yeah, he might be agreeing to lose 6-0 so I can get my first spot. A tough spot, and if I do end up, I can go to that later this week, next week, and then in the playoffs, I guess. But anyway, like I wanted to say at the beginning, I think Mega Altaria is going to be brought just because of the reason that because he gets the differential. If he gets 3 kills versus me, then he will be the top mon from the GPC season 1. And if he doesn't get 2 kills or more, then Mega Lopunny will be at least 2 kills or more, but without deaths, of course. If it's differential, not higher than 2 or higher, then the Mega Lopunny will be the GPC king or queen. I don't know. I guess queen, but I might have messed up a lot of you. Your head's now by saying it's king of the GPC. But yeah, as you can see, he brought some stuff every single one of his games, Fortress as well, because Fortress is of course his only spinner. Incredibly useful of course in the league format. So yeah, I do expect him to possibly not to bring a Fortress this game. Interesting, I don't know. But we'll come down to that in a bit. As you can see, I do expect to bring the Tyranitar because he will counter out my Rain if I want to bring it, and it's just of course bulky as fuck, and it's one of his best answers to Raikou together with Malavera, because Raikou, despite it gets of course ours really, but Raikou is, I view it's a problem to his team, because he doesn't have any ground types, no electric immunities even. So the Raikou will be a great annoyance to his team, so he has to bring either Titor or Malavera or both to deal with that. He's got 2 ghost types, so Spinbug or so. And he's got Hazard Stackers in Fortress, but it's pretty difficult to deal with Hazard Stack in this, I guess, versus his team. So I could of course bring my Defogger in Drifblim, but I did not decide to do so. And of course, like I mentioned, he's really, his offense is super scary. Of course, the multiple setup mounts and the versatility of those mounts is pretty scary. And yes, onto the I do have some stuff to put down here. Oh yeah. Okay, as you can see, a read here. Like I said, he doesn't usually run lure sets, no berries, no nothing. He's more like a ladder player, and he brings standard sets, or at least somewhat standard. Of course, he did prepare for threats on a bonus team, of course, but he's usually has pretty standard sets, and it's like if he brings it, he's gonna do well against me, but I do not expect him to bring such. So I don't fear the lure mons that much. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And written down on the bottom, which you cannot see, he's the only guy in the league with actually 12 months. Of course, we had the option to run 8 or to 12 months. And almost everyone has 11 months, but he's still the only guy in the league with 12 months, so I have to prepare for 12 different months instead of 11 or less. And yeah, I've written down as well that I need to win 3-0 to beat, to at least get even with Lars on the score sheet, the spreadsheet, the league table, and 4-0 to be there on my own. So, and onto my team, I guess. My team. Like I said, Raikou is going to hopefully put in pressure against his team. My plan is to get a lot of free Volt switches off, free T-bolts even maybe, and by keep doubling into Raikou or maybe Nidoqueen to break up his team. And that's basically the whole idea. I want to keep offensive momentum against him, because once he gets the offensive momentum against me, he's gonna do really, like, I wouldn't say really well necessarily, but he has such offensive mounts. For example, Feraligatr. If he gets a free switch into Feraligatr, I do lose him off. And even something like let's see, even Cambuur can take lives just because it can switch in. And like I said, he's more likely going to be Scarf Cambuur, so I don't really have a solid answer to it unless I predict correctly. But yeah, I do plan to get a lot of pressure on to him with Raikou. And I plan to hopefully sweep late game-ish with Kabutops. This is not a short stance Kabutops. It could be nice, of course, because I do want 3-0, so I might have to go with early sweep. But yeah, basically this Kabutops is hopefully gonna ruin his team and his offense. So next is Ballant with the Akaberry. Like I said, just in case he does bring Fire Blast on Altaria, and of course for the Emboar, some kind of check is nice. This is mainly the Mega Altaria counter, of course. It's fantastic at countering it, so hopefully that's gonna work. Hopefully Mega Altaria is not gonna be a problem, because it is rather scary. Next up is Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is pretty much speed investment, because that outspeeds Feraligatr. Do not have T-Bolt, unfortunately. I could have maybe used it, but I'm running the Ice Punch, Poison Jab, Sucker Punch, and Earth Power combination. Earth Power is mainly there to hit up Doublade and it's a space, 2 plate, and the 2, that's quad to 5. Fortress. But I do not run the fire move, and that's mainly for the reason because I want to hit up the Renitor as well, because like I said, it's a good check against my right arm. So I do want to have it weakened and not be able to like completely wall me because I have the fire move instead of ground move. R.I.Pierre does a good chunk of damage to both of those steel types I just mentioned anyways. Sucker Punch for the Malwara, because I do expect him to be bring at Show Stock 1, so I score 4 stacks. Thinks score stacks? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. P-check for the Altaria and Tornado D. And for the Parisian, maybe. And Ice Punch again for the Parisian, unless I predict. Unless he has no ice poison immunities left, I can just go for P-check of course, but otherwise Parisian, Tornado D again, Mega Altaria. Before it Mega evolves, or if it decides not to Mega evolve, I can go for Quad Weakness. And yeah, that's mainly the reason I might change this up for Fire Punch? Fire Punch? You could go with Fire Punch, I guess, yeah. The only problem is that I cannot pressure the Altaria to Mega evolve, which could be annoying. So yeah. I might change stuff later. You'll find out, I guess. It's speed investment, like I said, because it outspeeds stuff like Cambuur Zygarden and max attack, because I want to hit stuff up with need to be. Some special attack for the power. Yeah, Tornadoes, Rain Dance, Hurricane, U-turn, knockoff. The Damp Rock. To set up the sweep with this guy, which is just Light Verb element, and hopefully it's gonna rack up shit. If he brings Titor, it could be annoying, so Titor is a great check to match Tornadoes. I might want to run Superpower on this instead of like U-turn. Do I want to? Superpower over U-turn? Superpower. Yeah, why not? It hits up stuff. Hits up stuff. Superpower hits up stuff. And if I want to, I guess U-turn could be nice, but I can do a switch anyway. So. And it have a nice full turn core, I guess, but that's broken because of Superpower. And last but not least, this is not a complete finalized set yet. This is just what I think I kind of need. And it's not a really common Gyarados, Mega Gyarados set spreads, I guess. Because it's running the T-Wave and Dragon Dance in one moveset. It might be to some people not recommended, but my whole plan with this guy is just to pressure his team. And because I run a lot of bulk and like no attack investment, I want to pressure his team to the point where he needs to bring offense to beat my defensive, a pretty defensively passive Gyarados. And those months I want a T-Wave to put all the pressure from those months, all the offensive pressure those months had, they're just gone, and I can manage them so much more easily. For example, a Feraligatr, for example, a Parisian, T-Waving those is going to be great. And yeah, I'm running Ice Fang because mostly the Altaria and the Parisian. Crunch for the possible Doublade, possible Malwara, because Malwara is of course physically and not as bulky especially, so. I do not run Waterfall, which would be nice because I do want to hit up stuff like Emboar, which I do not necessarily have a good answer for, I guess. I guess this guy with Hurricane, and I guess Aqua Jet, and this guy outslow, so I kind of want to, I guess I could T-Wave it, but I would still lose my Gyarados in the next. I think I'm gonna keep it like this anyway, so we'll see. I'm just rambling on because it's pretty difficult to prepare for some matches. So. But yeah, that's it. We'll hopefully, at least I'll hopefully see you soon once I am in a match with Pierre. And until that time, I'm gonna have a nice barbecue. Just saying. It's the right temperature for barbecue, and I'm gonna enjoy my barbecue. And hopefully you're gonna enjoy your food too. And if it's a barbecue, let me know. If it's not, then let me know too, because I have a barbecue, and barbecue wins over any other type of food. So, see ya for now. And yeah. What's up, guys? This is finally the match versus Pierre. I'm talking a bit softly because it's at night, and I don't want to wake up people because my brother is sick, so it's probably asleep. I'm sorry for the Skype sounds. I will quickly pause 1 second. Okay, this Skype is muted. And here we go, the match versus R.I.Pierre, rest in Pierre. And like I said, I'm gonna lead off with Raiko, because Specs Raiko just hits up everything on his team for good damage. And Specs Raiko basically just puts a lot of pressure on his team. And as you can see, he leads up with the Tornadoes, so Specs Raiko is a fantastic lead versus that the Tornadoes, as he goes for the U-turn. Unfortunately for me, he crits me. It's not gonna end up mattering too much in the end. If anything, it would actually help me, so gonna go full switch on the wireless, the Frisian. Looking at the damage, it means that he's offensive Frisian, so that's good to know. And I get the Hurricane off because nothing on his team resists the flying move, so Hurricane does a lot of damage. And I hit the Assault Vest Tornadoes on the switching. That's a good amount of damage. He breaks the confusion and knocks me off as I knock him off. So as I go into the Raiko on his double switch into what's his face? Into the Fortress. Because like I said, Raiko is always a safe switch for me to make, and it puts a lot of pressure on his team. And the only switch he could make that would fear me, or the only two switches he could make it would scare Raiko out, were the Malagueta and the what's his face? Frisian play. So I didn't expect him to switch out of those to win. So I went for the T-ball, do as much damage as possible, but he turns to the big gust up, and on my switch to Nidoking, he reveals he has the Earthquake. So the Earthquake does a good amount of damage, meaning that Nidoking is a lot less bulky and can soak up a lot of less hits as it's used to do. So Fortress on his end did a bit of work, as he brings in Christina, the Malagueta, and that's why I carry the Sucker Punch. Adamant, and I think Jolly Max Attack Sucker Punch does a lot of damage to Christina, to the point where I can clean it, take it down with the Gyarados on the next turn. As he turns out to be faster than the speed I had for Gyarados, so that's unfortunate for me, but it's fine. I don't need Gyarados at max at full health anyway. It would be nice to have set up a Dragon Dance and continue to sweep him at that point, but I didn't know if he was Scarfed or if he was Assault Vest or Specs, or just Calm Mindset, or with like a berry or something. So I didn't want to risk. Well, if he was Scarfed, he would have been locked into the Psychic, and if he was Specs, then again he would have been locked in. So I guess this was my safest play, and Mega-ing up and going for the DD was kind of a good play in my actually, but yeah, maybe that would have been my better play, but this worked out for me, as I could take down the Christina the Malagueta. And the next turn I made sure the Feraligatr was like crippled. And unfortunately for him, he gets the Hex, he gets the Paralyzation Hex on the Gyarados. It doesn't really end up mattering, because the only thing that would have like been the case that he would have killed me, I would have gone into Raiko and gone for the T-Bolt off the full switch, and we would have continued from that point on. The matchup would have been a little bit different, but I don't think it would have mattered too much in the end. As you can see, he does take me down just with the Giga Drain from the wireless, and at this point I didn't even notice he had Life Orbed. How he took Life Orb damage, so that's kind of my fault, but you will see in the later on in the game that it's gonna matter. As he decides to sack off his own Tornadoes to the Hurricane from my Tornadoes, which actually is good. It actually works for me, because my Tornadoes is now the fastest man on the field. And I've been pretty lucky with the Tornadoes, the hits from the Hurricane. So as he goes into Wendy, and this is kind of the point of the match where the game turns, because I do have, of course, the counter in Bronzong, and as you can see, I take these hits, soak him up really nicely. As he switches here into Frisian, he takes a lot of damage from the Gyro Ball, and this is the point of the game where I had to make a decision. As you can see, I didn't know he was Life Orb, I did totally overlook that. But at this point in the game, I was like, okay, if I win 3-0 or higher, I'm shared first with Lars. So if I win 4-0, means I'm solely first. I'm first on my own. Lars is second. If I win 2-0 or 1-0 or I lose, I'll end up second in the at least on the spreadsheet, on the league table. So I figured, okay, a win for me doesn't really help me on the spreadsheet, and a loss for him doesn't help him, doesn't get him anywhere closer, or a win for him because it doesn't get him anywhere closer to to the playoffs because he is unfortunately not qualified for the playoffs before even starting this game. So my plan was to just stay in, risk my my check to Altaria, my counter to Altaria even. In hindsight, this wasn't a good play. As you can see, he goes through Focus Blast and does a shit ton of damage to the point where a return does actually knock me out from that damage. My play I would have made if this wasn't I just wanted to win. I would have sacked Raikau to the Focus Blast if he would have missed, or he would have not taken me down with Focus Blast, which he probably would have done. I could have just gone for the Volt Switch and got momentum, or he would have killed me because I'm slower than a max speed version. But yeah, as you can see, I do take a lot of damage from this now. And like I said, if I did sack the Raikau, I could have gone into Tornadoes and just fired off Hurricanes, or went for safer play and just set off a Rain Dance. If I went for the Hurricanes, that would have been a good play and a bad play, kind of. It would have been a good play because the Frisian would have been dead, as he couldn't have switched out into Altaria because Altaria would have died to actually would have been. I guess it would have been a good game because I would have won 3-0 in hindsight. Because I could have just killed this, and I could have just finished off the game with Bronzong at full health, as I was easily able to take on the Mega Altaria. So I guess that would have been my play, and I guess it showed the game away. Because as you can see, I take 2 much damage at this current point in time from the Parisian's Focus Blast, and I die to the Wendy's return. And now this thing is a huge threat, even though it hasn't even set up yet. It is a humongous threat because as you can see, my Hurricanes, luckily I hit, doesn't get a confusion unfortunately, but does just like 2/3 of its health. It's not enough. And now it outspeeds me as well, so as he just tries to roost up the damage, which is a good play on his end because he is able to roost up the damage. As I go for the Rain Dance, like I said, just to sack Tornadoes off, and hopefully I kind of hoped he would choke and would have taken him down with the return, where I could just revenge him with the Kabutops just to win the game eventually as well. But here comes the play. He is a +2 Altaria and I am just a Kabutops Life Pop Element. Unfortunately, as you can see in this skull, Kabutops Stone Edge is not enough to take down. It's not enough to take down a Wendy from that amount of health. So I calced this a little bit too late, because if I would have calced this sooner, nah, maybe not, because it was 50-50 for the roost, so I think it would have made the same play regardless. But yeah, this Stone Edge is not enough, so I have to bank for a crit, or I have to bank for Waterfall Flinch, and that's exactly what I go for. And unfortunately for my opponent Pierre, I do get the Flinch Hex, meaning that I am able to get a 2-0 victory against Pierre. So yeah, I'm sorry Pierre, this was not the way I intended to win. I fully accepted the loss at that point, because like I said, I went for the 3-0 victory or 4-0 victory because I wanted to get the first spot, and because it didn't really matter for both of us if we won or if we lost. And like I said, if I did go for the win, I guess I should have in hindsight, because I don't like winning with Hex. I should in hindsight just sacked Raikau, because Raikau was useless against both of his 2 remaining ones, and even set up fodder for the Mega Altaria. So in hindsight, I should have just sacked Raikau and gone into Tornadoes just to win the game by spamming Hurricanes or by setting up the Rain Dance. I think spamming Hurricanes was, like I said, my best play, because the Parisian would have died if I would have hit the Hurricane, of course. And the Altaria was not a switch in, as I could have set up a Rain Dance anytime, and could have just finished off the game with Kabutops, or like I said, just with Bronzong, as his Altaria would have not won against 1v1 versus Bronzong, and his Parisian was never going to be a switch into Bronzong. So unfortunately for me, I am going to end up second, just 1 point behind Lars on the spreadsheet. So of course a few factors in the university played a role. I remember my second league game versus Sasha, where I sacked my Uniquest to a Scissor while I had a max defense from the Kiwi at full health with Fire Blast, Flamethrower army. I remember that play, that eventually cost me the game. But then again, Lars had some of those plays as well, where he could have played it a little bit riskier and could have gotten a higher differential win. But yeah, it's whatever. It's what happened. It's happened. Unfortunately, this is how the at least the league table ends for all of us. And I am still in the playoffs, so the league table is not decisive for the person who has won the GPC or who has lost the GPC season one. The playoffs will decide who's gonna win and who's gonna lose, and those will happen next week. And I guess I will explain it in the same video as where the GPC players will happen. But for now, see you next week. See you in the playoffs. I will be facing Nacho, aka Hera Crowshoot, which I faced in week 3. So yeah, Nacho, I hope you're ready for me. I do actually have some cool things I have in mind for to use against his team. Something different than I had in my last game versus him. So don't prepare for my old team, Nacho. Just don't, please. But yeah, for now, see ya, and wish me luck in the playoffs. Well, I'll say wish me luck, but not as much luck as I had versus Pierre, because I don't want to win the playoffs like that. That's something Lars would do. So.